Yes, yes, yes. Deontay Wilder speaks on his thoughts and perspectives. Now that his fight with Tyson Fury looks unlikely to happen next, due to Fury signing a new contract with Top Rank representing him in the USA, whilst keeping Frank Warren on and also renewing his contract with BT Sports in the UK. So, there's been a big shake-up with Fury now set to fight with under the Top Rank umbrella in the USA. They have a contract to televise their fights in the US on ESPN. Wilder fights under the Showtime umbrella. So, in terms of TV contracts, they're on different sides of the street. Can they still fight? Absolutely. But things will be a lot different this time around, says Tyson Fury. They have to come on and fight on my platform now, says Tyson Fury. So clearly, the Fury-Wilder rematch is in clear jeopardy. The chances of it happening next are minimal. So, Wilder has just given an interview on TBV, and we're going to share some of that information and chop it up a little bit. Okay, firstly, he says he's still fighting on May the 18th. So he still wants to fight on May the 18th. When asked about his prospective opponents, he mentions Dominic Breezel, who of course is his mandatory, and he mentions Adam Kawanaki. So those look like his two prime opponents, or choice of opponents at the moment. He goes on to say that he wants to fight 3 fights this year. Now, if his first fight's in May, the middle of May, then that gives him 7 months to have 3 fights, when typically he's been fighting once every 9 months. So the probability of him fighting 3 times in 7, you will have to pardon my skepticism if I say I find that probability highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Now the question is, would he not have been better off going for the AJ fight now, in retrospect, at the way things have unfolded? And they certainly have unfolded. So now AJ's off the table. Fury's off the table. So what's left? Well, you still got Breezel. If you can't fight Fury, then his mandatory is still on the table. Of course, we know Wilder, or Team Wilder, have a very close relationship with the WBC. WBC have been known to look on Wilder's choice of opponents very favorably. So if he wants to fight a guy, that guy tends to make it into the top 10, even if he wasn't there already. And oftentimes with Wilder opponents, they were not in the top 10 at the time when an interest from Team Wilder was expressed. So basically, Wilder can choose whoever the hell he so sees fit if they're available. Of course, Dillian Whyte is available. So will he fight Whyte? If he's looking at the PPV, pay-per-view, then that would be, I believe, a more attractive fight for him than the Dominic Breazeale fight. On the other side of that scale, we have to acknowledge it would most likely be a tougher fight than the Breazeale fight. So, where does Wilder go now? Joshua's off the table. Fury's off the table. So who does he choose? He's in a very tricky situation. And though he also mentioned that he will remain a PPV star. It's a curious turn of phrase since he's only had one PPV fight, and that was only considered to be moderately successful. So whether a moderately successful PPV fight makes you a PPV star, well, that will remain a matter of opinion. But he certainly says or indicates that he wishes to continue fighting under the pay-per-view model. And if that is his wish, then he will certainly have to pick the tougher fights, unlike he has traditionally done. So Whyte would definitely have to be considered as a serious contender for Wilder's next fight. So we're looking at Whyte, we're looking at Dominic Breazeale, and we're looking at Adam Kownacki as the three most likely opponents for Wilder on May the 18th. This is Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I'm out.